Hello and welcome to the PinkUn Show. We are live here at the lovely Fat Cat and Canary on Thorpe Road for our latest edition of Norwich City Shenanigans that loves to pretend we've been smacked in the face. I'm Michael Bailey, and for the next 30 minutes or so, and our final live show of 2017, we will bring you all the latest Canaries discussion points, reflect on Saturday's Leeds loss, and look ahead to Friday night's Bees Nest. As well as the rest of City's forthcoming festive programme. We may or may not speak to some City fans here down the pub at the old Fat Cat and Canary. And of course you can still join us if you're not too far away. It won't take long to get here. And we are joined by a delightful duo of guests today. Forces to Canaries chairman Neville Townsend and City season ticket holder Sam Walden. Gentlemen, how are you? You well, Sam?
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. And yourself?
Lovely festive jumper you've got there.
Yeah, I had to buy it and I thought it would be appropriate for the occasion.
When did you didn't buy it just for the show, did you?
No, I bought it.
Thank goodness.
No.
That'd be unnecessary commitment.
You also didn't get the email that Michael doing.
I'm staying well clear of Christmas jumpers. How are you, Nev?
I'm good, yeah, just getting over a virus, but good to be here, thanks. Yeah.
Well, I've got you slightly further away, that's what we've got to do. Right, we are live on PinkUn.com, sort of ish. If you go to the Facebook feed, you'll find us, though. We are definitely live on the PinkUn Facebook page, and we want to hear from you too, be it on Nelson's form, what may happen over Christmas, or the January transfer window. Send us your questions, comments and banter through to us here in the pub. All you need to do is post your comment or question on the Facebook feed, and those words will ping right through to this very phone, which they are doing already as I watch. How exciting. It is the moment we've all been waiting for. Wesley Moulahan is here. She's rocking the bows as it's Christmas. It's like someone's wrapped her up. Her bell is not here. I don't know where her bell's gone. Shaun's now struggling to look for her bell, so that's exciting. She's obviously had her bell removed for Christmas. So short of me making some weird bell noise, you should see Shaun frantically looking for a bell. It's very exciting. If only the camera was facing that way, it'd be a right hoot. But there we go. Can you make some sort of hooter noise, Sam?
No.
No? Okay. Is there a word you like, a favourite word? No. Nev, have you got a favourite word?
Work for...
Could you go woof?
Woof!
Okay. With the aid of woofs, here are this week's headlines.
Woof!
A real lost leader. It's not back to square one, says Gunn, but defeat at Leeds opens some old City wounds.
Woof!
To be franker, Marcel, it's been dreadful. Some are signing to spend the rest of the season back in Bundesliga 2 with Dynamo. Remy Matthews also set to rejoin Plymouth on loan.
Woof woof.
We can't stand for it. City carry out safety group's threat to move fans for persistent standing and hope they can pioneer terracing back in football.
A woof, yes.
Nay, Stephen, it's not really worked. Naismith set to consider his future in January, as his end at Norwich seems in sight. And finally,
Woof!
here's to Farker Christmas delivering presents. I think that's Chris Gorham's pun there. At Brentford at home, trips to Birmingham and Burton, then Millwall's visit. It's all about the points, Daniel. All about the points. One more time.
Woof!
10 points for the Wolves. Well done, gents. Good work. We will get stuck into Leeds in a bit, if we may. But for now, let's talk about the standing issues, because they've come back at Carrow Road. It's the big story of the week, really. Neville, you're chairman of Forces to Canaries. You're also involved in the Canaries Trust, and I'm sure those guys all have a sort of a say and a stake in what's happening at the moment. How do you view it from where you are? Because you're a Barclay Ender, aren't you?
Yes, I stand at the back of Block E, so we're very, and Forces Canaries, we're very in favour of safe standing at football. The Canaries Trust put out a statement, referenced this very recently. I thought it was very good to put that out, and sums it up very clearly that this is not the club's doing, this is the SAG, because of someone complained above the club who went to the council about people standing, and I think in particular children standing on seats, which is deemed a health and safety hazard. And it's all snowballed. This hasn't happened overnight. This has been going on since late September, October. And the club, by removing the under-16s, is a compromise with the SAG. Otherwise, there would have been 250 people would have been removed.
It does seem like a bit of a rock and a hard place, Sam. Do you sit in the Barclay as well?
No, I don't, but I've been there. I personally would love to see standing back. I think it more atmosphere. When I have been in the Barclay, I've stood. That if one person has complained, then it's either got to be moved about. But if it is just because of young kids standing on seats, then you can see what the issue is. If it was just persistent standing, then maybe that person could see if he or she could move over. But if it is because of the kids, then I fully would think that'd be better for them to move into safer areas.
It's a tricky one because my bugbear has kind of been why is this not an issue at other clubs? It seems to have reared its ugly head at Norwich. It's a really awkward situation, and I can't for the life of me see that it's happened at any other clubs where you do see fans stand in all-seater stadiums regularly as well.
How many fans have complained directly to the council above the club? And that's what's happened in this case. And this gentleman, I believe, has been offered a seat elsewhere in the stadium, has flatly refused. And let's not forget that the club are very proactive when it comes to safe standing. They've had John Darch safe standing roadshow at Norwich City very recently. Now, under David McNally, he wasn't allowed to bring his kit into the meeting that we had, and so the club have had a 180 degrees turn on this, and they're very proactive and should be applauded for this. So they're doing everything they can, but there's a law stands at the moment. We're not going to rip the seats out of the Barclay and put safe standing in, unfortunately.
It's a really tricky one. The only other point is that other clubs, and it seems like Ipswich and which have you, they do have a limit, an age limit on regular areas where there is standing generally. So say Ipswich, I think in similar areas have sort of limited it to under 12s and under 16s. I guess ultimately in the safety environment, that's probably something maybe Norwich are going to have to look at in future, possibly.
Maybe going forwards, yes. I'm sure Steve Stone and the rest of the people involved will be looking at various ways to get round, or not get round, but to sort this problem out. I don't have the answers. It's the SAG as well, don't forget they're dealing with, and that's the big thing. So I would like to see, I'd like to see a fan on the SAG.
Certainly a bit more transparency seems like it'd be a sensible idea, because literally none of us have heard of what's been going on with these meetings until the issues pop up. Well, there we go, that's enough of all that. Leeds United, Norwich losing 1-0 up at Ellen Road on Saturday. Sam, we asked Angus Gunn, I asked Angus Gunn whether it was back to square one, and is it back? He said it isn't. They feel like their performances are better. How did you see it?
From what I saw and read, I thought that was one of our better performances. We certainly had chances. Pritchard in particular, after watching it, I think he should have gone across the keeper. But before Leeds scored, they put a set piece in, the player got a free header and hit the post, and then a minute later, or 2 minutes later, same thing, and he put it in. They were warned by it and didn't learn from it. But I wasn't expecting anything before the game, so obviously when I saw we lost, I was expecting it. But after watching it, it looked one of our better performances.
I mean, sometimes Nev, fixtures come up and they're really awkward timings, aren't they? And I think off the back of the Sheffield Wednesday game, Norwich, it was going to be hard for Norwich to maintain momentum going to Elland Road, which traditionally is a hard place to go for Norwich full stop.
Even when the Leeds aren't doing very well, it's still a hard place to go to, and it pains me to say this, but the Leeds aren't doing too bad this season, and so I didn't go, unfortunately, but I thought, well, I'll take a draw, when I saw you doing your bits and pieces before the game, I thought, yeah, I'll take a draw. But I think from what I gathered, talking to mates who went, we did okay, but it's just that final third again was probably lacking again. And the goal, I saw the goal on television, I thought it was a bit soft to concede a goal like that. But so yeah, we didn't get beaten 5-0 like Brentford did. Sorry, not Brentford, Burton did against Leeds. But yeah, let's see if we can put it right on Friday.
Brilliant stuff, gents. Okay, well, before we continue the chat on with Leeds, let's hear some of what Daniel Farker, Leeds manager Thomas Christensen and Angus Gunn had to say following Saturday's defeat.
We know that Portian is probably their biggest threat, and it's so difficult to defend him, and normally we defend everything in zone marking, but today we got the feeling, okay, because he's such a big threat, we have to cover him in man-to-man marking in many situations. And yeah, to be honest, the most situation we defended pretty good, but there was one situation, we defended not good enough. That was a situation to the goal, and he scored out of 9 meters, was running away from the goal, so yeah, fair enough to say that was a brilliant header and really clinical in his finish, but yeah, I think we can defend the situation from the individual behavior a bit better, and to concede such an determining goal, it's pretty hard to accept.
There's so many games in the Christmas period that if we have a good run, then we'll be up there. So there's always teams that come from far to challenge the playoffs, and we want to be one of those teams.
Angus, is it a reality check in terms of the distance maybe you've got to make up for the top 6?
Possibly, but I think reality check, we were probably the better team if you look at it today, and Leeds are I would suspect they'll be near the top 6 now, and if we can perform like that against most teams in the Championship, then there's no reason why we can't keep picking up points.
Well, I think it's important, the position where we are, how we play, how we take the results, especially after the bad results we have had. But the response has been good. The believing in the possibilities that we have in the squad have been there always. And now we also took a very positive result.
I do just want to finally ask you about Man City, because obviously they're doing unbelievable things at the moment. But in terms of how your season's going here, are they keeping in contact with you? And is there anything happening this year that's altering what happens after it?
No, not really. I think they just sort of let me get on with my work here and focus on Norwich at the moment. And we'll look at that at the end of the season. But I've not had any contact, and obviously they're probably looking out for our results, and I'll be looking out for theirs. But I'm just focused on Norwich for the rest of the season.
They do. Well, they're just winning, aren't they? Basically.
Yeah.
That's it.
I hope we can take something from their game.
Yeah, top man.
In general, our performances, especially in the last away games in Cardiff, and also here were really good. But we had the feeling, okay, we can be more effective, and also, perhaps a bit more clinical in our defending. On the other hand, I have to say, so out of the game, we didn't give away one chance. So there was nothing. We just gave away perhaps too many set pieces especially in the first half. And in two situations we could have defended a little bit more brutal and more concentrated and consequent. And but to be fair, it's not so easy when 8 or 10 free kicks on corners come in. So there's always this one situation where perhaps Janssen is perhaps a little bit earlier on the ball. And to win some points, we have to be perfect in the defending, and that's the topic. I will mention, but also I think it's not the time so much to accuse the lads. It's more like to give them some trust and to help them to be there again in the next home game, because it's hard when you're there with a really good away performance and you have to return without a point.
Oof. Save that for now, Sam. Save that for now. You can see much more from Thomas Christensen, Daniel Farke and Angus Gunn over on PinkUn.com and, of course, the PinkUn YouTube channel too. Got your questions in. Keep them coming, please. Dan Church, we need to address this current situation. Now, I don't know if he's talking about the standing or the football. Could be either or. So, look... Paul Langshaw says, surely if it means lower capacity at Carrow Road and with a massive waiting list, we need to wait, which I guess is for safe standing coming in, which is of course an interesting debate in itself too. Simon Meadows, Leeds' goal was coming at that point in the game just before half time. My closest friend, who is a lifelong Arsenal fan, is not convinced by zonal marking. Given the success, we have no chance here. The system has failed us this season. Of course, the problem was it wasn't zonal marking that Norwich were trying to do on Saturday. It was actually man-for-man marking, which Daniel Farke had switched to, which was a bit of a surprise. And in that situation with a free kick, I don't think they'd probably tried to zonally mark it anyway. But some fans are worried about what Daniel Farke is doing and the results. How are you, Nev?
I've been trying to be patient, I think. Trying to be patient. To see what he's trying to do. Has he got the right players in place for what he wants to try and achieve? Maybe not. And we've got to wait for another maybe 1 January come summer transfer window so we can get the players in. We can't just throw our toys out the pram. As hard as it has been watching some of the performances, I think we've got to persevere with it and see where we are start of next season.
Sam, you were just saying as we were coming back about your dad.
Yeah, the old man, he's been going 57 years, has said this is the dullest football he's seen in his time.
So what makes it dull for him? And for you? Because I've seen some of your tweets. You share his view a little bit.
I personally find it's completely boring. I see what he's trying to do. He likes possession, but possession ain't going to win you the game unless you do anything with it. if you do something with it, you might win the game. If you don't, you're not. I mean, we do side-to-side passes from what I see, and that's it. Even in that, was it 9 or 10 games unbeaten run? I wasn't happy in that. The away form was good because, you know, we were beating some good teams. Not many teams would go to Middlesbrough and win, but at home, we were awful. Burton just been beat 5-0 and he played 2 holding defensive midfielders. No, go out all out attack and win it. Same at Bristol. Just he can win. He could have won all of those. It hasn't been good at all.
It's interesting because I suppose Daniel's learning the division, regardless of what anyone says. He's learning this as much as the players he's brought in, and this whole structure. It's a really, I've said it all season, such a difficult balancing act because Norwich are trying to do a massive transition with a load of people who don't know the division, whilst maintaining expectations of having parachute payments and supposed to be going up.
It's very difficult. You know, Daniel Farke has been a baptism of fire for him. You know, he was in the 4th division in the Bundesliga. So, and yeah, it's what I think Darren Huckabee said with Jack the other night. You know, it's a hell of a division, this championship, and you know, unless you've got some experience, you know, you're going to struggle. And yeah, he has found it difficult. I think also the final third we've been lacking a lot this season. That's what the possession's great, you know, all backwards and forwards, but where's that penetration, that final third, getting behind the defence, getting that ball in there, and that's where, for me, we've been lacking this season. I think we're not going to be looking over our shoulders too much this season, hopefully.
Hold that thought, because we might get stuck into that later. Worth saying, actually, if you should check out the Talk Norwich City podcast with Jack Reeve and Darren Huckabee. Great little job that the guys have done there, and we're hoping to have Darren on the show after Christmas and New Year, all being well. I don't know if he'll bring us any presents. I'm hoping he'll bring us a pint or something. What's that?
I shared a view with Neville that the final third is where it's lacking. I mean, Maddison's been a revelation this year, and I think Pritchard will be key. But start the season, Wes can't get in. Even at his age, I think he would have done a job so far this season. Everything else is fine. The defence is fine. Midfield, I've been impressed with Tom Tribal in particular, but it's the final third. I mean, Pritchard, Maddison and Wes, you'd think we'd be able to create and score plenty of chances, but he's just completely changed it from last season, scoring goals as well as conceding them. This year he's gone to stopping them in, but we've stopped scoring.
The thing is, we've asked him that numerous times as well, and he'll say the same. That's what he's trying to work on, and I guess it's the bit that's hardest to sort out. Let's get through some of your messages, shall we? Martin Newland, guys, so tired hearing week in, week out we played well but come away with nothing. Do you think these next 4 games are crucial to Farke's future? We're going to come back to that because we're going to have a look at the championship picture. Paul Langshaw, we're not good at defending set pieces. Why haven't the coaches caught on to this? Craig Brown, start with Vilchert and Murphy. We need to play with wingers. Sam's shaking his head, Neville's shaking his head. Don't bother picking Watkins, he was rubbish against Leeds. He did not offer anything going forward, didn't create anything. Put him back on the bench. It was a shame, I thought, that Marley couldn't take his chance on Saturday, given how well he'd done in the second half against Sheffield Wednesday. We've got a few more messages there, so keep them coming in. We'll get back to those too as well. I did just want to touch on Angus Gunn, who's done really well, and asked him a little bit about his future going forward. I think he effectively said he's not worried about it, and that's completely stock answer for what he's going to tell me if I ask him. But I get the impression Norwich fans would obviously love that to see that continue somehow. Remy Matthews looks to me like he's definitely going to be joining Plymouth on loan for the rest of the season, and maybe he'll be the option, Nev, that Norwich have in goal next season.
Yeah, Plymouth, when I used to go down and watch them when we was down at Cold Rose when I was in the Navy and that, so I've got a soft spot for Plymouth, and talking to my mates down there, he's done really well. They really like him down there. Remy Matthews is going to be vying for number 1 spot next year, definitely, so he needs this game time, or next season, he needs this game time, because I don't think Gunn's going to stay. I think he's probably going to be too good, so Remy Matthews actually probably will be our number 1 next season, and he's a good keeper.
I know they think very well of him down at Carrow Road, most definitely. Okay, I think we're going to move this on because as it is our last show of the year, and it's the last one down at the Fat Cat Canary for a little while. Hopefully we will be back here later on in the season though, but the PinkUn Show will return on Wednesday, January the 3rd. I know you can't think of anything beyond Christmas, but that's when we're back, Wednesday, January the 3rd, usual time of 7 p.m, but at the Woolpack on Golden Ball Street. So that'd be exciting. It's not because we're lazy and it's really close to Archant, I promise. But that's where we're going next. And we'll see who turns up. There might be a lot of football going on. We'll see. And by that time, of course, the January transfer window will be open, and I'm really not prepared for that at all. But let's have a chat about it now, obviously, because it's December. We've spoken about Matthews and Gunn. Marcel Franke was one of the big pieces of news. He's going out to join Dresden on loan for the rest of the season. I imagine he's probably already out there training with them, to be honest. I get the very strong impression that this is about him coming back next year and hopefully having developed and really throwing himself into the mix. But Sam, you're shaking your head again. You're shaking your head.
Don't think it's very good at all. I don't think he'll be here next season. I mean, I think at the start of the season he had Zimmerman at the top, and I think he started slowly, but then he came in and he looked good. But I think now, I mean, Grant Hanley, who I didn't think he would be all that good, and I've got a friend who supports Newcastle who told me he was absolute rubbish. His honest words were he's absolute rubbish. Looks a cut above both of them two, and I'm not surprised him and Closer are the back. I mean, if Franke comes back and he's improved a lot, then give him a chance, but I can't see him lasting much longer. He'll probably be gone in the summer, I would think.
I can see what the club are trying to do, because they want to protect their value of the player they've signed. Value, by the way, that I think is probably £1.5 million rather than 2.5, so I don't think it's quite the fee that's being reported. That said, it's difficult to see how he'd be preparing his way for another stab at the Championship when he's playing in the second tier of German football, because that's kind of just the same sort of problem. Likewise, I do think it means that we'll have Shaun Raggett here for the second half of next year. And
I went up to watch Lincoln play because I've got some mates up there, and he didn't play that well that day. I think they won about 2-0, 2 own goals by the opposition.
I've seen lots of very good players have very ordinary games before, and you end up just judging them on that.
And I said, keep him there, you know. But talking to my mate up there, they said they love him up there. They don't want him. So what do you do? Do you leave him at Lincoln for the rest of the season, or do you bring him back? And it's a catch-22. I think they're going to leave him up there, let him have another season, then he's back, ready to go, starting next season. As for Franke, yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? He's closer going to be here next season, you know.
Well, let's not forget, he's a guy that signed when they were in the Premier League, which automatically means he's on a lot of money. And I think anyone who's on a lot of money, they won't be able to afford him next year. It's pretty straightforward, really. Chris Gates says, we're missing Johnny Howson, someone to link the defence and attack, a box-to-box midfielder who can drive the team on. Yes, 100% agree with that. Keep your messages coming in. Stephen Naismith, forgot to touch on, he did a piece of media with Scotland. Difficult one for Stephen Naismith. Again, he's another one who was signed in the Premier League, and I can imagine he's spoken that he'll have to consider his future come January, which is just around the corner. I can see him being loaned out, and then you see how it goes from there, I guess. At least that might save Norwich some wages.
I think on Naismith, the big thing for me was the summer we were in the Premiership when Alex Neil really wanted him. He was keen to come. I think in that summer he was keen to come. In the January, I don't think he really wanted to come, and I think Martinez at Everton said, look, you're either going or you're not going to be playing football. And then obviously getting relegated, we couldn't shift him, and I don't think he enjoyed it, despite probably being one of our actual better players, just not showing it. And so this year he's better than some of those that have turned out for us, and if he can't get in now, then I think it's fine that we just cut our losses and let him go.
Which does seem to be how it's playing out, doesn't it? And that Liverpool performance will stay with everyone, wasn't it? Because he was so good, goal scoring, he was everywhere, and it was so stark, the difference between that. I know he was trying to make an impression, obviously, but just strange.
But after that, what did we see from him? And that's, that Liverpool performance, I thought, great, all right, we lost, and but yeah, and how many times have we seen really good Naismith performances? There'd be very few and far between, unfortunately. And he's on a shed load, isn't he? Let's not beat you around. And then he said something else there. And
we're on YouTube and Facebook. It's fine. No, I don't know if it is.
He's on a lot of money, and will people come in for him? This is the point. He might just sit there and say, well, I'll take whatever 30-40 grand I'm getting, and how long's his contract?
It's got another 2 years, I think. It's certainly not at the end of it, which is why I think, we know, which is why I do think it might be a loan this year. They may save then a proportion of his wages, and then you see if he does well, then someone might come in. But otherwise, it's really difficult. And that's the thing, Norwich are relying on these players doing well to move them on.
I mean, everyone talks about Naismith in that Liverpool game, which he was very good. But I think some of them are forgetting he came from Everton. Of course, he's going to want to play well against them.
Yeah.
That's what did it for me. Was I think, well, he's come from Everton, so he's bound in his first game to Liverpool. I thought he's bound to be up for this one. And then, I think actually the first few games after that he was decent. But then once we got right in the relegation mix, he didn't want to be there. Although I still maintain in the January he didn't really want to come. The summer he did.
Good stuff, Sam. Mark Newstead says very much missing a house and we need midfielders getting beyond the striker. I do think Norwich have two similar midfielders in a lot of places. Go on, did you want to say? Simon Meadows, closer and Hanley, good combo. Looking forward to seeing Raggett when he comes. Frank alone out, good business. And John Messias, hello there, John. Thanks for getting in touch. Jamal Lewis, does he start on Friday? I hear he's pretty close, and I hear that they do like him, and we've obviously heard how much Daniel Farker likes him as well. So,
I've only seen him play once, but I was very impressed. I think it was Cambridge. Did he play at Cambridge, wasn't it, in the friendly?
So in Stevenage, I know he played at Stevenage, and I mean, this is the thing when we're pre-season. It's so difficult to judge him in pre-season.
Yeah, I know, but he's very highly thought of. Do you play him in the cup game against Chelsea? Because Chelsea are going to put a C team out, aren't they? Probably not. Might destroy his confidence, But if he's ready, then play him.
Fingers crossed. I reckon we'll see him soon. Let's move it on very quickly. Russell Martin. Do we think he'll still be here after January or loaned out? What do you reckon?
Definitely be here. He'll be here for life, no matter what. I can't unless a manager physically comes in when his contract is up and says that's it. I see him being here for the rest of the time. I mean, Farker gave him a 2-year deal straight away when he came in, and he said he liked the fact that he was captain, and now all of a sudden he's not getting in for whatever reason. I mean, he's not a centre back, and Pinto has been good right back, but
I just worry how open Norwich are on with right backs, given if Pinto sort of tweaked his hamstring a little bit at Leeds, so they could be quite short. Russell, and then who else? Is there someone else? What do Norwich need? Who's going to go? Neville, sum it all up in 30 seconds.
I think Pritchard could go
in January.
Yeah, I don't want him to go. I want to keep Maddison and Pritchard, but I don't know what the finances are now and what they're going to be like come. We're losing money, that's for sure. Let's not beat around the bush. So come the summer, Closer will go in the summer. But we're going to have to sell players. We're a self-funding model, are we not? So
that or no money. It depends on how you describe it. Yes. I believe they don't have to sell anyone in January if they don't. So I think they may well just hold on to them because they'll have to deal with it in the summer no matter what.
I personally think no one will go in January apart from those that really aren't getting in the team, and in the summer we'll see a lot more go.
Good stuff, Sam. Tops. Right. For the last time in 2017, let's bring out the game that everyone will be playing around the Christmas dinner table if they can find enough PinkUn beer mats. It's time for this. Yes, last week, Scott Howie and Ed Young took part in a battle that saw far more mats on the floor than anywhere else. Still, Scott's 10 trumped Ed's 9, and the pair are now nicely placed in our leaderboard, although neither clearly have the benefit of a public house upbringing. Sam, you don't even know what this is, do you? Because you got here reasonably late, so you've got no idea what we're doing, do you? That is the face of a bemused man.
No idea, unless it's just try and flick it up and catch it.
Pretty much, Sam. We might just let you do it and see how you do it, because that could be quite amusing. Right, it is your turn, Neville and Sam. I hope you're ready for this. It's flip the bird.
Start with one.
You start with 1, and if you catch it, you add a 2. If you drop them, you can still keep trying with 2. The idea is to build up as many as you can in a minute. The winner gets a much prized selfie with Wesley Moulahan. You'll be delighted to know. So let's see who is more Robert Flick than Flicky Van Volswinkel and play Flip the Bird. Are you ready? Dan, are you ready? Is he waiting 1 minute? He is ready. Good, thanks for that. Okay, on Dan's signal. 3, 2, 1. There we go, we're off. Sam with an expressive start there, given he doesn't know what he's doing. You've got to try and catch it without it dropping. Neville's already on the floor. I mean, there's not a lot of pace here. Not a lot of pace. Sam's counting that. Yeah, I'll let you have that, Sam. Nev's on 2 as well. He's just adding 3. You've got to try and keep it off the table, Sam. Sam, off the table. In the air. You enjoying this?
Yeah, it's good.
And it's on the floor. There we go. We need a floor cam, I think. I mean, I've got to be honest. I thought this game would get better as we went through the year, but I'm sorry, gents. This is not going well. Neville's claiming it. Shaun's let him have it. So there we go. Well, I think he did. Yeah, he's sniggering. Sam's just collected a couple there. I think Nev's just adding it. I'm pretty sure people are just piling up the beer mats now. But Sam's taking a break and he's dropped a few. I mean, he's on about 4. So Sam's got a unique technique of spreading it behind him. Nev's just adding them on, but that was a good one. That was good. That was fine. With 5 seconds. 3,
2, 1, and stop. 1.
Well, we don't want any more forfeits because Chris Elliott did that in the first week. So I reckon there was 3 there and 2 behind you, Sam. We're calling it a 5.
And 2 under there. 7.
7? I think 7's a push, but you've claimed it and Shaun's not arguing. No, Shaun's happy. 7 for Sam then, ish. Nev? 8. So 7-8 somehow. Nev, you won. Congratulations, Sam. Tough luck.
I think I probably won this year, Michael.
I mean, I've got to be honest, that wasn't the best quality game of football we've had all this year, but we can only hope for better later on. You both get to win a picture with Wesley Moonaghan. Have you got your mobiles with you?
I have, Michael. Yes.
Well, I've got mine. Come on, round you come. This is the bit that everyone likes. This is the bit that's great telly. Everyone loves this. I don't even know if these end up going out anywhere, but we just end up having a collection of them. So, ready? This is always great telly, this bit. Smile, everyone. 3, 2, 1. Has it taken it? Am I doing a video? Oh, this is great telly. Someone needs to train me on how to work with technology. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Yeah, well done. I will probably share that if I remember. But at least I've got about 3 weeks to remember this week. Well done, guys. Enjoy that.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, you're going to be playing that round the Christmas dinner table with the Waldens, Sam?
About that, they might do. I know I've done it in a pub now, I've seen it.
Yeah, this is it. Well, I'd say a pub upbringing does tend to do quite well. Right, let's have a quick word. Neville, so your supporter group roles, how's it going with Forces to Canaries and the Canaries Trust? I mean, they seem to be quite active in this year. They've added a lot of things.
Force Canaries is going well. We have about 150 members all around the world, so yeah, it's good. And yes, we are involved with the Canaries Trust, actively involved with them, and Canaries Trust are pushing on, buying shares here, there and everywhere, and yeah, they're doing good stuff, we've got a new guy on there doing the Twitter and Facebook and that, so social media's pushing out the word, the Canaries Trust as well, and also ourselves and Proud Canaries and the Bartley and Norwich, so yeah, we're all working together, which is good, so I'm trying to push the fan engagement.
It's quite important at the moment, and we've seen from the discussions about the atmosphere how active the supporters groups want to be in that. I also saw Proud Canaries have got a football team, haven't they? That's going to be backed by the Canaries, which is fantastic news.
And to die tonight about that. Yes, it's she says very embryonic, very early stages, but the thing is to get an 11-side team to play against other LBGT groups. But I've said that Force Canaries and other groups, if they want to practice, get some match time in before they play, we're happy to help out. And so
I can see a supporters group football tournament coming up pretty soon. I think a few already fancy that. Brilliant stuff, Neville. Keep up the good work. We've got Roy who's come to join us, so we're going to go and have a word with Roy if I can sort out my mic. Shall we do that, Shaun? Are we going on a walk? Try not to bring anything out with my microphone. You talk about safe standing at football. There is nothing more dangerous than my mic and this lead. So it's a good job we don't have our own supporters safety advisory groups. Hello, Roy.
Yes, hello, Michael.
And who's this? Regan. Hello, Regan. You're on the telly. Well, you're on YouTube and Facebook, but that's the same thing, isn't it? Now, you've both been at the Norwich City Christmas party?
Yes, we have, yes.
Was that this afternoon? Where was that? How was it?
Good, yeah. It's in the Gunn club and the Norfolk lads. Yeah, it was good. Busy, 400 people, I think.
Wow, and there were loads of players there. And not only this, it's not like...
All the first squad, except Russell Martin.
Okay, fair enough. Well, maybe he was busy. Maybe he's getting his loan deal sorted out. But the interesting thing is you didn't just turn up from Spixworth or Thorpe, did you?
No, come from Mid-Wales.
How long did that take you?
Nearly 6 hours.
I mean, that is commitment to the... Was it worth it, Regan?
Yes.
Did you get many signatures?
All of them.
Which is your favourite signature?
All of them.
You must have a favourite player. No, not one?
He's moved a different team now, so...
Oh, who's your favourite that they sold?
John Ruddy.
John Ruddy.
That was Bradley Johnson, and they sold him as well.
Okay.
So she don't have a favourite no more.
That's a very good idea. To be honest, I used to have the same issue with putting names on the back of my shirt. They either always got injured or they would sell them. So it's a problem. Have you got a name on the back of your shirt at the moment?
No.
Well done. Good decision.
Regan normally, isn't it?
That's sensible. That is sensible. Roy, how do you see this season at the moment? We used to call this this time talk is cheap. So what's sort of got your goat at the moment?
Not very good. I think he should swap and change the team on every team he's going to play. So when they play Leeds, you put out a more stronger attacking side. Best form of defence is attack. Don't play two older midfielders to help the defence out. Just push forward, keep attacking. Even if you have to play the long ball, pump the ball down, get two up front. That's what they need. Back to the old days.
How worried are you about this? I love your T-shirt, by the way. All the words are on the ball city there. Give that a look, Shaun. Top stuff. How worried are you about this season, Roy? Because I mean, there is an expectation that Norwich should really be pushing for promotion. Yet we also know what could happen if it doesn't happen, and the summer changes that will be needed.
Mid-table and build on from that is the only way forward. Stop. Push your foot in the hand, mind my French, and just play attacking football like they used to in the old days. That's what Norwich is, an old-fashioned club. Let's push forward and attack.
So, where are you from, if you don't mind me asking?
Originally Lichfield.
So how do you end up being a Norwich fan?
My mum's from Beccles.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's border, though. That could have been Ipswich or something.
Yeah. Well, she met my dad in Great Yarmouth, so... And my sister lives in Martham. And my nan turned 100 in May, and she's in the... Norfolk and Norwich Blind Association.
Wow, is she a Norwich fan?
Well, she follows the football now and then, but there's 4 or 5 old ladies in there that are 100 plus. Wow. So they're doing a good job there.
That's fantastic. Good shout out for them. Brilliant stuff, Roy. Well, have a lovely Christmas, guys, and a safe trip back that doesn't take 6 hours. How many points over Christmas and New Year, Roy?
I'm going for 10.
10. I like that. Regan?
10.
10. Jobs are good.
13, but they're only playing 4 games.
You never know. Might get a bonus point. Have a lovely Christmas, guys. Thanks for coming along. Really appreciate that. Right, let's try not to take anyone else out. You can sit down, guys. Well done. There we go. Look at that. Seamless live. I enjoyed that. That was nice. It was really great of Roy to pop in and come and see us, because I know they got to take in the Christmas party too. Right, where are we now? I know. Let's have a look at the championship picture, shall we? Gents, we've got the championship picture on here. You can pick up your sheets. You can't see what everyone else is about to see, so you can look at them on there. Are you ready, Dan? He's giving me a thumbs up, which is always good. Let's have a look at the championship picture as we head into the festive period. Wolves marched on while Derby, Ipswich and Millwall had notable wins. Burton won their relegation 6-pointer at Bolton. Sheffield United slide continued, and Sunderland won their first home game of 2017, all thanks to 2 young debutants. Who knew it could be done? The top 3 are starting to break clear, while Derby are having a very good run of things. Top of the league not so long ago, Sheffield United are now in danger of dropping out of the top 6 altogether. Spare a thought for Chris Wilder there. Leeds and Ipswich are next in line. City remains 16th, 10 points off both the top 6 and a drop zone, which now no longer includes Sunderland. Note the positions of Brentford, Birmingham, Burton and Millwall. They are all Norwich's next 4 opponents. The Bees are up first with a Friday night visit to Carrow Road, solely for the reason both sides wanted it played earlier to ease their Christmas load. The game at Hillsborough will be a tense affair for both under-pressure managers, while Sunderland will hope their revival continues at home to Birmingham, and the late kickoff will be well worth a watch too. Find it remarkable that Norwich Brentford has been moved to Friday to help ease their congestion, and no one else really could be bothered to think of that as an idea, because it seems to make perfect sense.
I think it's brilliant. Great, both clubs happy. Gives them extra preparation day before the Boxing Day fixture. Fair play to both clubs. Great.
Had actually been moved for TV.
So did I. I wrote that in my column last week and I got it wrong. I have to apologise afterwards.
It's Arsenal-Liverpool that's taken it now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think most people will probably be watching that. In terms of the table, is there anything surprising you or worrying you, or how do you see it, Nev?
Well, I don't want to be looking over my shoulder at the bottom end of the table, and so this next 4 games are quite crucial, just to give us that, 9 points at least. I would be hoping for just to push us up a little bit, because once you get into that bottom 6, it's very easy to get sucked in, and I don't want to be arrogant and say we're too good for all that, but there's a lot of teams have said that and been sucked in. So
we go back to Martin Newland's question from earlier. Tired of hearing about week in, play well, taking away nothing. How crucial are these next 4 games in Farke's future? But I mean, it may not be that they're crucial in his future because Norwich have made their decisions. But in terms of the club's future, in terms of where the club goes, these next 4 are vital. Just to keep them away, give them some sort of cushion from the bottom.
I think it's got nothing on Farke's future. I think he will do the 2 years regardless. But looking at the fixtures, Brentford, Burton, Birmingham and Millwall on New Year's Day, I would be looking for 9 points, possibly 10 out of 4. I mean, I was very disappointed we didn't beat Burton at home when we played them.
Yes, which I think we all were, and it's definitely a point taken.
I think we will win 3 of them, maybe draw the other one, but it depends on the home form because Brentford, will they come and attack or will they just come and park the bus? I mean, I think Brentford are there for the taking and I think we will beat them in the end, but it just depends. It depends on what Norwich turn up.
As always the way. Craig Brown reckons Ipswich will win the playoffs. I mean, they've got to get in them first, but I do. Shaun likes that. Shaun, our cameraman, he's an Ipswich fan. He's loving that. We haven't got a camera on him, fortunately, so he can maintain his secret identity. I mean, Leeds, I do think, will end up finishing in the top 6, but actually, the other 5, probably above Sheffield United. I think that's how the top 5 will finish. I think Villa have got the money. I think Derby, Gary Rowett, as kind of expected, is doing a really nice job there. In Bristol City, I don't think that momentum's going to stop this season because they've already lasted well beyond what they did last season.
Yeah, they've done well, and I think I tend to agree with you actually that Leeds will probably get in there. Those lot down the road hopefully won't, obviously. And then you look down there, Middlesbrough, maybe Middlesbrough might be pushing, but Forest, Fulham, no, I think that top 6 about from Leeds. Pretty much that'll be it come the end of the season. And how close we'll be to it, I don't think we're going to be very close.
I actually backed Fulham for the league this year because I thought after what, I don't know his name, is it still Yank?
The manager, Yankovic?
I think
Jukanovic, sorry.
I think after what he did with them last season, I thought he was going to take them up a gear this year, and I've been quite disappointed with them. But there'll be one of those teams in that top 12 or 2 who will fade away, and there always is. There's be one of them.
Just like there's always one that runs late, which I know Angus hopes will be Norwich this year. We better rattle on because we're having so much fun. We've been taking our time, but we've already seen the 4 fixtures, haven't we, Dan? I think you've put up the 4 fixtures over Christmas, so we know what they are. We know it starts on Friday as Norwich host Brentford. Of course, after those 4 fixtures, it's the FA Cup tie with Chelsea at Carrow Road. We'll talk about that when we return after New Year.
The club got the prices right, spot on with that Chelsea game, £15.
They've already sold 4,000. I think Chelsea have already bought their allocation for 4,000, and the club have put the rest of the tickets on general sale, I think, or they will do tomorrow.
Yes, because they went out to season ticket holders. Then season ticket holders had the time they had to go on general sale, but Chelsea got 4,000 tickets, but £15 for me, spot on.
Lovely job.
The thing is, with how the football's been this season, will people want to pay £15 or just sit at home and watch it on TV?
It is live on BT Sport, exactly. Or go down to the pub, join us for it. That's always the way. We've got Brentford coming up, which is a tricky tie actually. Brentford are doing pretty well this year. Birmingham are a complete mess, and it'll still be interesting to see if Steve Cottrell's in charge by the time Norwich play them. That's on Boxing Day. And Burton, as we discussed, away. Tim Closer, probably still having a few nightmares of what happened there last season. We were all there, we were.
Birthday, so I'm hoping to win.
Which one? Burton?
Burton's my birthday, so I'm hoping to win, yeah.
Happy birthday, so I hope you get another Christmas jumper for your birthday. And of course, Brentford will have Sergio Canos on Friday, which is interesting.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, yeah. Sergio Canos playing, He did all right for us, and a lot of us were sad to see him go, so let's hope he has a mare Friday night, though.
If he's fit enough to play, which might be another issue. Millwall, of course, Norwich owe them at least 2 games, don't they?
Yeah. Millwall, I think we'll beat Millwall. No worries with that one.
No worries about Millwall. I love that.
I think they'll want to atone for the 4-0, and incidentally, we will, unless they get a red card, we'll have Closer and Hanley at the back, so shouldn't be much sloppiness compared to the Den.
Let's hope so. Good stuff, Sam. Let's get through a few messages very quickly. Simon Meadows, moving Naismith on is a financial no-brainer. Plus, he said this week he wants to move on. Steve Wells, so there are rumours about we're getting players on loan, or are we going to spend money for a new forward? I don't think there is any money. I'm sorry, Steve, but we'll not unless they sell someone first.
I think they might have to sell one of the forwards first if they want to bring someone else in.
Maybe Cam's not featuring. Maybe that could be an issue. But Nelson, you never know. It could be one of those two, and then fans have to ask themselves whether that's what they'd rather have.
I think at the minute Nelson's shown why he may not last so long at clubs. He seems like a petulant player. Like he's hit confidence with us, and he was fine at the start. But I think he's also one of these petulant ones, whereas Jerome just gets on with it. He just gets
clubs, isn't he?
Yeah.
Nelson Oliver.
But then he said he wanted a home, and he was really excited about Norwich being his home. So, Craig Brown, we didn't replace any of the players we got rid of in the summer. Webber has brought some rubbish players to this club. I mean, the issue is they had to reduce the wage bill, so the players were never going to be as good as the ones that they've got rid of. Paul Langshaw, why isn't the club making a big feature of On the Ball City chant at the beginning of each game, which they have done in the last home game?
This was brought up at the supporters meetings, atmosphere groups. It was left to us fans to do it for a while. It didn't really take off, so now the club is starting doing it. The club will be doing it before every game now. So.
It is back. There we go. Craig Brown. Sorry, Sam.
I thought it was forced. Like they forced it to happen, and then this year, with obviously all the changes, it just sort of started coming naturally.
It did for a while, but unfortunately it fell away, and so we've gone back to forcing it, as people call it. But
likewise, it fell away because the results fell away, and everything's dictated to by results. Roger Ison, Brentford will be a difficult team to beat. Only lost 6. And with 10 draws, which is very, very right indeed. And that's pretty much all we got there. So let's move on to your 11s. We'll rattle through these nice and quickly if we may. Dan, who we got first? Neville, let's have a look at your 11. Take us through your 11.
Yeah, I toyed with the idea of either Watkins or Yannick, and Vrancic, I'm not been his biggest fan, but he's done quite well recently. So I thought, right, leave him in, and my Watkins and Yannick would have been. That's where I ummed and ahed. Excuse me. And I went for Watkins, and up front I went for Jerome because I just think Nelson after his dive at Leeds was absolutely terrible. You know.
It's a really tricky one with Nelson, I think, at the moment because he's not doing what everyone kind of hoped he would. Sam, should we have a look at the 11 you would pick? This is your 11. 4-1-4-1.
Yes, I've gone for Yannick. I don't know what he did wrong, because when he was in the team, he was looking like he'd improved a lot. And also, one thing that struck me, being at home, we don't need to hold in defensive midfielders, just one. I'd rather see us go all-out attack with Wes, Maddison and Pritchard. Again, I was toying between Oliveira or Jerome, but I just think if we had Houlihan, Maddison and Pritchard on, Oliveira will get enough chances to score. You know, I'd rather see more out attack than, you know, trying to keep it cautious and tight.
Good stuff, boys. Great stuff there. Thank you very much. Couple of messages then before we leave. Craig Brown, Delia out, put the club up for sale so we get some new owners so our club can move forward. Don't know, if someone was interested in buy, they might sell. You may never know, we'll have to see.
I was going to say that. I think yes, it's Delia's club, and fair enough, it's what she wants to do. But how is a club like Barnsley, no disrespect, being able to be taken over by a Chinese billionaire, and yet we're not? We're fading away, and everyone else is moving forward because she won't invest. You know, we don't have to get a multi-millionaire or anything, just someone who's going to pump some good investment into the team that will take us forward. I find it interesting that a few years ago we went to League One and then we all got clear and in the Prem, and that's when we needed the investment most and it didn't come, and now we need her to sell for us to go forward because these players who we've got this year are nowhere near good enough to really challenge.
Nev?
Well, yeah, she's going to sell. She's just going to pass Michael and Delia going to pass the shares on to Tom. Simple as, aren't they? You know, that's the plan, isn't it? You know, whether people will come in and still invest, knowing that the power is still going to reside with the Smiths and that, I doubt it. You know, the Turners invested, didn't they, all that time back? That didn't work out very well, did it? There's going to have to be a shift, and I can't see it happen anytime soon. I think they're going to keep with this self-funding model, which is difficult to work on in the Championship.
I think it's a late in the show to get onto a subject that we probably could have spent half an hour on in itself. I'm all about devil's advocate in my job. In this situation anyway, but I do wonder if, you know, as I said, if people wanted to buy the club, I think there would be an appetite for them to sell if they were the right people. And again, with Barnsley, it's all about judging it, isn't it? Because you never know if people are fronting something, whether it's going to be something that is for long term. In 4 years, Barnsley might have spent 3 of them in the Premier League, and we'll all be proven right. It'll be really fascinating, and I know a lot of Norwich fans will be very interested in what happens at Barnsley. Hopefully they put power and Wi-Fi in their press box. That'd be a start. Invest in that, Barnsley. Do that. Mark Newstead, Houlihan left wing, sigh. But that's a debate for another show as well. In the new year, let's get your prediction for Friday night. Nev, go.
2-1 Norwich.
Sam?
I'm going for 2-0.
Norwich.
Yeah, 2-0.
Look at that. What I love is we always end up on a high. Good stuff, gents. There we go. Thank you so much, gents. Brilliant to have you along. That is it for tonight, and indeed for this year from the PinkUn Show. Remember, you can catch all of this show on and all of our superb Norwich City content throughout the festive period as well, because we'll be at all the games, myself, Paddy and Dave. That is on the PinkUn Facebook page, the PinkUn YouTube channel, or pinkun.com. I'm sure a quick search you'll be able to find all 3 of those. Thanks to all the crew, to our guests tonight from the Mustard Studio back at the start of the year, to down the pubs, of course, all through the year, and tonight especially Neville Townsend and Sam Walden. Gents, thank you so much. Thanks to everyone else who's joined us at the Fat Cat and Canary, as well as the pub for putting up with us and hosting us over the second half of autumn, winter, I suppose, whatever you call it. And of course to you guys for watching, getting involved, putting your questions through. It has been an absolute blast throughout 2017. We will be back live next year from Wednesday, January the 3rd. Put it in your diaries. That will be at the Woolpack on Golden Ball Street. And as ever, if you're in the centre of Norwich on the evening, come join us down the pub, grab a pint, and then come on the show and have a word with us. Or, of course, you can watch it on the Facebook page live. Until then, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you all. And may your days be yellow and green. Good night.